because of a new legislation that come out, all electrical goods have got to be dismantled in the correct place.
Old cookers and television sets all went into landfill. I think the thought of everything going into landfill is terrible.
We strip down the TVs and monitors to their base level. So we're taking the plastics, we're taking the printed circuit boards, we're taking the aluminium, we're taking the copper cable, we're taking the copper-rich yoke off the back of the TV. And then we remove the phosphor, we remove the shadow mask, which is a ferrous material inside the back of the funnel, and then all of these waste streams go off for further processing. The glass is crushed and tumbled and made into a glass cullet. This is then bagged up and we can export all of that glass out to the Far East where it's used to make more TVs and monitors. Within about 8 to 10 weeks of the material being collected, all of this glass will be back in televisions being used again. All of the plastic that leaves here can actually be used again by manufacturers. This is the raw form that the manufacturers will use the plastic in their plants. If you take televisions and monitors together, we're recycling around 90%. We have waste fractions that we cannot actually use again, which are the chipboard from very old televisions, which is contaminated with resins, which we can't reuse, and also the phosphor is a hazardous waste material. As a hazardous waste, it has to go to a hazardous waste landfill, and that's the law. As we see the move to digital television, we're seeing a significant increase in volumes as people move towards plasma televisions, LCD televisions, and HD-ready televisions. We only ever see plasma televisions and LCD televisions that are damaged. So one recommendation to people is buy a good bracket. We have things like the CD-ROM drives. We're taking out copper, printed circuit boards. There are lots of horror stories in the press about how hard drives containing secure passwords and backing out details come back onto the market and people steal your valuable personal information. There's freely available data wiping software on the internet you can download for free as an individual. All of this chassis is made out of steel, and shortly after we've recycled it, it will be back as tin cans, cars or other steel requiring products. So we're looking on this board to recover the gold, the copper. So we're taking processors, memory, and again looking for precious metal recovery on all of these. As individual items, the gold content is very low. As high volume, with tons of these coming in per month, it gives it a high value so we can actually recycle it and reprocess it. If you consider an old television, the energy consumption of that television is huge in comparison to today's equipment. And therefore by recycling we're actually saving energy on daily use. You look at raw materials, they're a precious commodity, and as the raw material value goes up, more will be recycled. We don't have an infinite supply of raw materials, and so it's much better for the environment if we can actually reuse and recycle that material.